Today I want to talk to you about substitutions for dominant 7 chords. Now, you might take, for example, a blues progression. You've got a lot of dominant 7 chords. These are just some ideas for you that can kind of take you out of the kind of normal, path. So let's just start with G dominant 7. You got G, B, D, and F. Now what you can do is, when you've got a G7, you can just build a, you can build off of this chord, or use a different chord instead of G7. One chord that you could do is B flat dominant 7, or D flat dominant 7, or E dominant 7. So what is that, why these chords? Well, if you built a chord using just these notes, you'd have G, B flat, D flat, and E, or F flat, but I'm not going to even entertain that. And E. What is this chord? I'll give you a second. It's a diminished chord. It's a diminished chord because it's a stack of all minor thirds of the intervals. So you've got this diminished chord. So let's build these chords. Let's just look at them at least. So you've got this B flat dominant 7, D flat dominant 7, this B is really a C flat. I don't much really prefer writing C flats, but in any case, you get the idea. And then we've got E dominant 7, E, G sharp, B, and D. So, what are you going to do? What I would try experimenting with is the next time you see this chord is to play this chord over it. And what is that? Well, if you take these notes and you're relating these notes to a G dominant 7, well, let's write out this scale. So we've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, and 1, or 8. So if you play this chord over this scale, or this chord, or if we're relating these notes to this scale, then what you have here is a B flat. You've got sharp 9, you got 5, you've got flat 7, and you've got flat 9. Now, how did I get that? Well, B flat, if you flat this 3 and you make it a B flat, that becomes sharp 9. If you look at D here, D is the 5, and there it is. And then F is flat 7. So look, you've got two chord tones right there that relate to G7. And then, this is the hippest part, or maybe the sharp 9 is, I don't know, maybe the sharp 9 is quite hip too, of course, but you've got flat 9, you know? So you've got this 2, which if it were up here would be the 9, and you flatten it, and you've got flat 9. So there's flat 9. So that's why this works really well, is because you've got two notes that are part of this chord, and then you've got two extensions. You've got flat 9 and you've got sharp 9. So hopefully that all makes sense. If you relate this one to G7, you've got flat 5, you've got flat 7, you've got flat 9, and you've got the third. So this one works really well too. Okay? And last but not least, if you relate this one to G7, you've got 13, you've got this one, G sharp, flat 9 again, you've got B, which is the third, and you've got D, which is the fifth. So this one works just as well. So, but this is not the end of it. The what I'm suggesting also is that you can relate it also from, say, the chord that you're playing is B flat 7 and not G7. Okay? What I'm saying is that you can play D flat 7, E flat 7, and G flat 7 over B flat. And D flat 7, E, if you're playing this chord, D flat dominant 7, you can play E7, G7, and B flat 7 over this chord. So they're all interchangeable, and that's kind of my point. So you might experiment with that. Take a song that you're working on. I was mentioning a blues earlier, only just because blues usually contain lots and lots of dominant chords, and it's easy to kind of change those dominant chords. Yeah, experiment with that. Check it out. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about this in the future. But thank you so much for watching. Please send a comment or a question or maybe a video response. Love to hear from you. And we will see you next time. Bye.